Hello everybody, welcome to Too Much Information with Moondog TMI Live with yours truly, where we go over the projects that I've worked on this week and give you a little bit of background behind the scenes information about some of those videos, as well as sharing with you some of the new videos that I'll be publishing and working on, and also getting your input on those projects as well. And I also want to congratulate everybody who voted yesterday. It's another good example of how great this country is, and that we all get to vote in an election. And whether, regardless of how it turned out, whether or not it was positive or negative for whoever you voted for, just be grateful that we're able to vote. And it's another great day for America, everyone. All right, so I want to thank everybody for joining me straight up on the live stream today. And I was wondering how I would start off this video, and as you noted in the thumbnail for this video, I don't try to get political with this with any of my channels, but I did thought it would be good tongue-in-cheek to use that image, and it was appropriate for both what's going on or what went on yesterday and today, as well as the things that we're going to be talking about today. So it's not going to be, I promise, it's not going to be an overtly political episode today. So don't worry about that. So I want to call out everybody who joined me early, and I really appreciate it. But before we get started, I also want to call out this episode's sponsor, and that is Aura, who is sponsoring this segment. They are a online cybersecurity company that I use, and it's very appropriate because this episode has to do with identity theft and faking identities, at least when we get into the rabbit hole segment, and also as you saw in the thumbnail for this. But Aura is a cybersecurity company service that I use, but one of the biggest benefits to them is that they offer $1 million in identity theft insurance included with your subscription. And you may think, okay, the chances of identity theft aren't pretty small. For you may think that that's not going to happen to me. It's not. The chances are not zero for sure. And maybe the banks, most of the banks, and credit card companies that I deal with say that, oh, don't worry about identity fraud. If that happens to you, you won't be liable for it. Until it happens, we'll see how easy it is to get that wrong information expunged from your record. But should you need to get a lawyer or any other kind of service to help you do that, that's coming out of your pocket, buddy. Unless you have identity theft insurance. That's one of the things about if you subscribe with Aura, they give you $1 million in identity theft insurance, and that covers any of the fees out of pocket that you would need to expunge and clean your record should somebody steal your identity or open credit cards in your name, etc., etc. So, but the other services they offer are really helpful in this election cycle because they have fraud alerts and they have spam blockers. And I got a few number of spam text from political action committees or what have you, but far less than I have in the past, thanks to Aura. And one of the reasons why is because they've expunged me from a lot of the data broker lists. And if you don't know, data brokers are these legit companies. Well, legit is they are real companies out there, and what they do is far from legit in my opinion, but it is perfectly legal to buy and sell your information. I mean, how many times have you been asked to fill in your name and address somewhere and ask if you're, you may have not read through all the check boxes, but those companies oftentimes will include in their terms of service that they can share your information with their valued partners, and those partners in turn may not, stick to the rules and say they may in turn share that list of your information with somebody else, etc., etc. Your information is being bought, traded, and sold right now by these data broker companies. Well, Aura can get you removed from those data broker companies. They offer a service where you fill in your information and you click, and they will scour the known data brokerages out there and formally request to have your information removed from their databases. So that is an invaluable service, and you have an opportunity to try that out and actually do that for free. Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and you can try all their services free for 14 days. Use that link, try that link. It helps support this channel, and it's totally worth it just to do that data broker removal service. All right. So I wanted to call out some of the folks who've joined the live stream early. And for those of you who are watching this, please go in the chat, just type up something so I know you're there, because if you type into the chat, you have an opportunity to win something. And that's actually what we're going to do next. We're going to do an early contest drawing. I'm going to do 2 drawings today, but if you type in the word early bird right now, #earlybird, you'll be entered into a real-time online drawing where you could win. Let me just show you what you could win. A Huxworks Freedom Fest tote bag and a Huxworks baseball cap. This is actually pretty cool looking design. I really like that. Huxworks, if you don't know, is a maker. Huxworks Safety makes some of the best suppressors out there for your firearms to reduce the sound. And it's a darn shame that in the 21st century, these are suppressors for firearms are still considered a highly regulated firearms accessory when they're really a very vitally needed safety accessory. But it's just yet another stupid regulation that is a holdover from early in the 20th century, and they really need to be addressed. And who knows, maybe in this administration that'll happen. But in any case, Huxworks makes great suppressors and also other accessories like compensators and flash suppressors. So check them out. You have an opportunity to win that baseball cap, and just type in early bird and you'll get a chance to do that. I just want to highlight some of the folks who've joined the chat early. We have 67 Rebel. We got Hillbilly Up. Thanks again, Hillbilly. And I will also want to put a special shout out to Hillbilly. I'm oftentimes on his live stream on Saturday nights as a guest panelist. So definitely check that out on Sunday nights. Or sorry, Saturday nights. Why did I say Sunday nights? Saturday nights at the Guns, Beer, and Therapy live stream. And we have Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. And we have Michael DeHart. So thanks for joining us early. And because you did, you get an opportunity to win a Huxworks baseball cap. And for those of you who are watching this, just type in #earlybird and you'll get a chance to win. Oh, and we have Abigail. Thank you again for joining us. Hello, Abigail. All right, I'm going to give you guys just one more moment to get those hashtags in, and we will do that drawing. And I will find, let's see, where is share screen for that giveaway. All right, so I think you guys can see that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so you could see. Oh, I'm surprised because I could swear I could more than 2 of you had typed in early bird. So maybe it's just not registering it, or maybe, I don't know why. But if you did already type in early bird, oh, you know what it is you have to do it as one word. So if you did it as in the case of, I saw there that Michael Hart typed it in as early with space bird. That's why it didn't catch yours. So yeah. Oh, hey, Garage Guy. Thanks for joining us. All right. I think that's everybody who typed in. I guess Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies doesn't want to get the hat. Well, he's already won one of my contests, so I guess he's just doesn't want to be greedy. Oh, no. Okay. Not that you're greedy. Sorry. He did type it in. I'm not saying that you're greedy now that you typed it in. I think that's a very wise thing to do. All right. So we have our 5 entries, and I will hit the draw button and we'll see who won. Okay, and the winner is Hillbilly. Congratulations, American Hillbilly. Congratulations. And I will be. You don't have to send me the contact information, but for those later on, for those of you who are watching who want to join into the second giveaway, which I will have a second giveaway later this evening. But American Hillbilly, this is going out to you after this episode. And again, thank you for letting me share the stream and also advising me on how to use the streaming software so that I have my live streams now. So I appreciate that. I really do. All right, let me just bring up our next segment here. And all right, so let me get into the new videos this week and the ones that I've posted and a little bit of background information that you might not have known, because this episode, this live stream is too much information, right? So I posted a test review of Aguila Super Extra, which is a long time coming. I tested it on my Ruger Precision Rimfire rifle, which I bought about 4 years now. I remember it was just, it was either just after the last election. So that's how I remember that it was 4 years ago now that I bought the Ruger Precision Rimfire. And back then, if you remember, we were still in the middle of the scamdemic and there wasn't a lot of ammo available, and certainly the selection wasn't there. And so like a lot of folks, I have a good emergency supply of ammo, but as a wise person, I tried to pick one ammo type just so I know for consistency's sake. So I didn't have a large variety of rimfire ammo to test with my Ruger Precision Rimfire. So now I've been putting it off, but I wanted to see which of the bulk or the readily available ammo shoots the best in my particular rifle. And I'm not testing any of the match ammo yet, but I just wanted to see of the bulk ammo, the one that I can, readily and cheaply buy, which one shoots the best. So one of the first ones I tried is Aguila, because I like their super extra high velocity, and almost all my other rifles shoots very well. Maybe not the best in terms of grouping, but it's cheap and it's reliable, at least for me, for most of my rifles. So I tried it with my Ruger Precision Rimfire, and the rifle did not like the ammo that much. It functioned well. I mean, it didn't have any failures to fire or anything like that. It just did not group well at all. And that's the reason why I chose the headline substandard for one of the thumbnails that I'm testing out. Because yeah, it was kind of meh. It was maybe worse than meh. But I did come up with a couple of different alternatives to that headline. And I just wanted to share with you that YouTube now allows creators to upload multiple options as far as the thumbnail, the title image that you'll see on a video, to see which one grabs people's attention more. And it will randomly display a thumbnail for that video to different people. Maybe it'll show to the same person, a different one to the same person, depending on how, when you load up YouTube. But there are 3 different options that I uploaded. One was the headline or the title, "Does it meet standard?" The other one was substandard, which you saw there. And the other one was super extra, ? And of those 3, it seems like so far, after 4 days, that 37.7% clicked on that compared to the other 2. Now, this still have a few more days to run this test, 14 days that they give you to run your thumbnail test. So time will tell as to which one people tend to click on more than the other. And, we got some new folks joining in. We got Ryan Matthew. Hey, what's up? And yeah, he also said that I have never had much luck with Aguila for accuracy. Yeah, so I mean, it's okay. I certainly, in my experience, actually, Aguila isn't necessarily the best, but it's not the worst. It's maybe like second. And in terms of price to performance, it actually, CCI in most of my rifles runs the best, but it's also of the rimfire, bulk rimfire that I can easily get a hold of. It's also the more expensive per round. So that's, trying to balance between cost and performance. I tend to pick the Aguila, but everybody's gun is different for sure. And we have Joe. Welcome. He says, I bought about 2,000 rounds of Aguila 60 grain subsonic, and your 1022 likes it a lot. I bought some subsonic. I have some. I'm going to test that out soon as well. So we'll see how that runs. I forget. It might have even been you, Joe, who suggested it. But I remember one of the comments that I got this week was, even though the Super Extra didn't shoot that well in my particular rifle, I should try the subsonic. So, well, I'm going to try that for sure. And we have the Thunder from Down Under, Benchrut's Marksman. Hello, thanks for joining us. Okay, so getting back to the episode, one of the videos that I published this week was the review of the new Discovery Optics LHD 8-32 Gen 2. And I didn't realize this is actually not even out on Amazon yet. It's only available on Discovery Optics website. So this is, in a sense, a preview or an early release of this particular optic that I got a hold of. And this is actually a pretty darn good, a surprisingly good 8-32. And by say surprising for the price, because the price that I was seeing on Discovery Optics website was $250, and I'm guessing probably Amazon price might be even under that. We'll see, but yeah, for that kind of price it's really, really good. Now, I don't claim in the video, and I certainly don't claim that it is as good as a 30 power Athlon Ares or a Leupold Mark V. No, it's not nearly as clear as either of those. It has a HD glass, so it's pretty sharp. It's not ED glass, but it's still pretty darn good for a $250 optic. This is, the only thing I would have to say is it's kind of heavy. I mean, it's kind of heavy, and the eye box is kind of tight. But if you're shooting bench rest or F class, you've got this really heavy rifle rest you've got on there. Heavy is not an issue, and shooting from a bench, as bench rest marksman can attest to, everything's tied down. Having a tight eye box isn't quite as challenging, or at least not as big of an issue as if you were using it for hunting or for other shooting disciplines like NRL 22, where you have to change where your shooting position often, and having a tight eye box is a detriment in terms of being able to get on target quickly. So yeah. Hey, we got Will joining us. No, don't please don't apologize for your tardiness. Yeah. I didn't realize that the election results, in Virginia, as I was saying, apologies for tardiness. I was watching election results here in Virginia, and I was thinking, I thought those were already turned in, but I'm sure he was referring to his local elections, because things are still up in the air. My local elections, I'm not sure if if the mayor for San Francisco has been decided, or if it has to go to a runoff, because it's one of those, I forget the term for it. It's one of those preference elections where it's not whoever gets the most votes. It's a ranked preference kind of thing. Still is that, I mean, supposedly that's, to some would argue that's fair. The whole mechanism of that confuses me, just like fantasy football. So yeah, I don't quite get it. Supposedly it works. We'll see. Yes, thank you, Abigail. Ranked choice. That was the term I was looking for. But yeah, they have ranked choice for mayor and a couple of other positions here. So there were quite a slew of people running for mayor in San Francisco. And what a thankless job, but we certainly do need help here. And actually, a classmate of one of my wife's was one of the candidates for mayor though a real dark horse, because does not come from money. He does not come from a well-connected political family. He's a security guard, security professional. So yeah, not what the establishment would consider to be a serious contender, but still we supported him. He's a good guy. Here we got from a hillbilly up. San Francisco needs help for sure. Yes, it does. All right. So anyway, getting back to my the video that came out for the Discovery Optics LHD, I wanted to share the results so far of the thumbnails, and that one, of the three options I have long range short on cash as one thumbnail, long range on a short budget as another thumbnail, and long range short budget as another thumbnail option. And so far, that is the last one. Long range short budget is leading right now, but it's only been 2 days. I've got 12 more days of these thumbnail tests to run. So who knows? That could change. Speaking of long range and high magnification, also this week, but not on my gun channel, on my review channel, Moondog Reviews, I launched, this just went live, the review of the Maven CS.2A. And you can't have a more diametrically opposite brand than Maven to Discovery Optics, because before, I was talking about a budget optic that was under $250. This is a spotting scope that has a retail price over $1,000. So yeah, different audience, different demographic for sure, but an excellent scope, by the way. This has ED glass, super sharp, and is their highest magnification optic at 66 power, and ruggedized. They're probably the most rugged in terms of the design and construction, with a lot of that plastic armor on it. Really excellent scope, and I think the highest power spotting scope I've tested thus far. But yeah, excellent glass, but again, you do have to pony up a bit of cash for one of these bad boys. Will Trax has a question that he posted. I'm looking for my first ever rangefinder, and Maven keeps coming up. Yeah, I want to test that out, because their rangefinder looks really nice. I mean, in terms of just the design and features, but Maven is on things I keep on raving about, is their industrial design, the way that their stuff looks and functions, and just the materials that they use. Really primo stuff. And not just price too, but I mean, just terms of really, well, chef's kiss. This stuff just looks and feels in your hand like you spent that kind of money. Whereas, I'm not dissing anybody who buys like a Zeiss or a Schmidt-Bender or a Leupold, or any of the high ticket scopes out there, and they look solid, and they feel solid, construction and everything, but it's just a whole nother, just in terms of the design, the little design features. The Maven, their stuff looks like a fine luxury watch in comparison to most other scope makers. So yeah. And on the other video that I have on my Moondog Reviews channel is a review of this little bad boy, the Arcfeld Ultra. And you can see there in the thumbnail that I performed. This is a thumbnail that came out of my KIA test, i.e. I ran over it with my Kia Sorento to see if it would survive, and it did. But as you can see from the belt clip there, yeah, it got pretty bent up and scratched up. But as you can see here, I've managed to bend this back. It took a little bit, and it's still a little bit flatter, considering I ran over it twice with my tire. And the scratches did buff out pretty well, better than I was expecting. So aside from a couple of nicks that on the paint or on the surface of this, and this is Olight's O alloy, as they call it. I don't know why they just doesn't say Oloy as far as their specific mix of aluminum alloy. They say that this is harder than their other the other aluminum they use on their regular flashlights. So yeah, this is pretty durable. So what we have here is this is the thumbnail that's currently running, and here are the options that we had for that. And I want to again thank you everybody who came in a few weeks ago came in with their suggestions. But the one that you saw was ultra durable. The second thumbnail headline was better than pro, which I think maybe Mark Thomas might have suggested that. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry if I'm misattributing to one of the other viewers out there. But and the other one was fancy and upgrade. So all of these are suggestions you guys came up with, so I appreciate that. But that sort of we'll get into getting your suggestions for the new videos coming up. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is, as you know, we had an election last night, and I'd like to say that I helped in maybe getting people aware of the issues at hand. But one of the things I did was on my Moondog Go channel is I posted all week a series of videos that were shorts that were taken from my videos of the lectures given over at Independence Hall in Philadelphia last year when I visited last year. And the museum rangers, who gave the tours over the Independence Hall, they're excellent, by the way. Got to hand it to those rangers, or I think that's the term for them in the Parks Department, that do give the tours over at Independence Hall. They did a really good job of telling stories about our nation's history, the Revolution, and why we're the United States of America and not Canada. Not a dig. That's not a dig to my Canuck friends out there. I'm just saying is that we could have gone a different route in terms of what country this would have been. We would just be part of Canada, or we would be, Greater Canada, or the Greater Colonies, or whatever we would have been called had we not seceded from declared independence from Great Britain. But it was very timely, but also very informative information that they gave us. But I thought it would be very relevant to the election this year, because a lot of the things that they talked about in the Senate Hall was about the first election that we had in this country, where the first time we elected a president, and more importantly, the first time we elected a second president, because a lot of people still were not entirely sure how this all was going to work. Because traditionally people in power stay in power, that there's no change in government in European countries unless a king is killed, our country is taken over by another country, and a new leader is imposed. Yeah, usually there's no peaceful transfer of power, but we managed to do it, and we've managed to do it for 200 years. And just talking about the insights of our first election, our second election, and the candidates, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. These are really good stories. So I posted up the series on my Moondog Go channel, and I just wanted to highlight a couple of the comments we had while I was talking there. One is from Hillbilly concerning the 66. Yes, Elon is now going to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. I don't know, is it pronounced Doge or Doge? I always pronounce it Doge, but that should be interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to that, because that guy is amazing. Yeah, Elon Musk is my spirit animal in terms of what he's been able to accomplish with the companies that he's. I mean, every time I see the SpaceX landings, it's just it's a great time to be alive. And Michael DeHart said, my 8th generation paternal great-grandfather fought under Lafayette in the Revolutionary War. He immigrated from France in the mid-1700s and settled in Monroe County, Virginia, now West Virginia. Wow, that's awesome. That's a bit of history there. I love reading about history. And oh, hey, we have Bullets for Bucks joining us. How are you? And Stephen is a amazing YouTuber, by the way, and he has a channel that has Bullets for Bucks, obviously in his name, but also has posts up just a ton of great reviews, not just on YouTube, but also on Amazon. So yeah, just definitely check it out. Yeah. And he says, I'm not amazing. I'm not amazing. You're amazing. All right. So continuing on about the videos that were posted this year, I post up a range video on Moondog Go, which is my travel channel. And that is for the Coyote Point rifle and pistol range, which I'm a member of. And one of the things that I was asked, there's a rule it's a good rule when you're in part of an organization. When somebody raises their hand and suggests something, that person should have to be in charge of doing it. So I raised my hand one evening during a board meeting, a members meeting, and asked, "Hey, do we have any kind of youth program?" Because I wanted to get my kids more involved in marksmanship, and I've taken them to the range. I've taught them how to use a gun safely. But I was hoping that maybe there'd be matches or some more reason to have kids, because it's not as fun for kids to go to the range when there aren't other kids there. Not necessarily to compete against, but sometimes even that. But it's always more fun for kids to be around other kids. And I didn't see very many kids at the range, even during members only days. So I was asking, hey, did we have a program in the past to encourage kids? And of course, the board president said, no, we don't, but you should start one. So I was asked to start one. And one of the things I was also asked to do was, hey, we need to have a range safety video for kids, just for kids, because we don't have a range safety in kids. These kids nowadays, they don't read rules. They don't read. You got to make a video for them. So that's what I ended up doing. I enlisted some of our members' children to create a range safety rules. And I started off with the basic NRA safety rules about guns that all kids, everybody, not just kids, should know. Don't point a gun at anything you don't want to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger. Treat all guns as if they're loaded. Be aware of your target and what's behind it. And as well as don't cross the safety line. Don't touch your guns or anything on your tables during a ceasefire, that sort of thing. Just so the basics, just so that they don't get into trouble at the range, and make sure everybody's safe. And Will says, I started my two sons at 8 years old, and now they're nearly 30, and they're both active duty. Good on you. See, that's good parenting right there. So I created this video and posted it up on my Moondog Go channel for the range, ostensibly, but hopefully maybe a lot of other people will see that video and keep the kids safe. Which brings us to the segment that I was mentioning about, which is I'd like to get your help in creating thumbnails for my next videos and your thoughts, and also give you a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the projects that I'm working on. And one of them is for CV Life, which I know, for those of you who do know CV Life, it's a very budget brand. Let me just say that. And when I first got into firearms, I'm not ashamed to say that I bought and I own CV Life products because they're cheap. But in testing them out, they actually they worked. And one of the first scopes that I bought was a CV Life 6-24. And I think all of you probably seen this scope. It was $24 or $29 on Amazon. Very cheap scope. And it's not really 24 power. But the surprising thing is that while it's not a great performer in terms of distortion, clarity, and of course not accurate in terms of magnification, it doesn't have a lot of travel, but at least it held 0, which is more than I could say for some other scopes that I bought and tested out. And this is before I started my channel, that didn't hold 0. So I actually was shooting a CV Life the scope for quite a few months when I first built my AR. But they've just come out with a new LPVO that I'll be releasing this review video soon. And this is not a bad LPVO for the price. It's very affordable. And I have to say that for a LPVO, if it's performance, this is surprisingly good. And I have the video title that I have right now is Rising, but I'm looking for your suggestions as to what could be a good headline for this particular LPVO. And let me see. We've got some comments. These aren't necessarily headline suggestions, but here's some comments from Pike Hunty Hunter. CV Life is some of the best scopes for the money. Agreed. And Will Track says, yeah, Vortex Venom made in China, just like CV Life. Yeah. And question from Ryan: have I ever tried vector optics? Yes, I haven't reviewed vector optics because they've asked me to, and I've asked them, okay, great, let's talk about which optic, and then they never got back to me. So they kind of ghosted me. So I haven't necessarily been, hounding them to review one of their scopes. If they're interested, they can reach out to me again. I think I actually reached out to them. I forget one of the two, and I talked to them at SHOT Show maybe 2-3 years ago. But they kind of never got back to me. So, okay. But from what I could see of their scopes, when I was looking at it at the booth, they look good. But again, it's hard to really judge the performance of a scope, in the, especially at SHOT Show inside of an expo hall, especially when you're downstairs, where your line of sight, the farthest you could see is on a good long stretches, maybe 75 feet. So yeah, not really great place to make a judgment call on that. All right, let's see. Oh, and Kentucky Rimfire Hobby says he's actually going to. Are you going to give that away on your channel? That's cool. Here's a counter opinion here. Are terrible only good for airsoft and pellet guns? I'm not saying that they're great. I'm just saying the ones that I've tested actually worked, and so. But yeah, that's actually how I first got aware of them, is from airsoft, in terms of, because a lot of, I'll admit it, the scopes that I'd seen of them, or I should say the red dots that I'd seen of CV Life, and I may have bought one for one of my airsoft guns, is because, yeah, they looked like knockoffs of, like a SIG Romeo, as far as a red dot. And I didn't need to buy a SIG Romeo for my airsoft gun. So anyway, here's a suggestion for a headline: looking through the civilian life. I don't even know if CV Life, they say it's like country values. I asked them once what CV stands for in CV Life, and I don't think I ever got a straight answer from that. And Ryan asks, is airsoft still a thing? It is. One of our good friends, Mark Thomas, plays with his goes out to play airsoft every weekend with his son, which is great. And I'm sure when I've asked my son to go out, but unfortunately the nearest airsoft field to me is an hour and a half away, so I haven't had the time to take my son to go play airsoft. But I still organize a big charity airsoft event every year in Pennsylvania. So it's not as big of a thing as it used to be, but all of the millennials and the Gen Zs have gotten older. They're now in college, so yeah, so they don't have the time to play airsoft as much, and that's the big sort of demographic bump there in terms of interest in airsoft. I got a comment here from Pike County Hunter. I truly don't know much about any of the other scopes out there, but the Bear Power and the Bear Swift are amazing scopes for the money. They blow back vector optics out of the way. And he has the vector optics Taru. Oh, and in terms of, yes, Will Trax asks, I don't know what airsoft is, honestly. I know paintball. It is like paintball. In fact, they follow a lot of the same rules, except that airsoft, instead of shooting paint, they shoot little plastic BBs. And the rules are basically, if you get hit with a plastic BB, you call yourself out. You don't wait for, the paint to show. But to be honest, people would, at first blush, will say, "Oh, isn't that rife with cheating because you can't see where the paint hit you or not?" Where in paintball you'll see if the paint hits you. I hate to break it to you, the competitive paintballers cheat all the time. What you do is, if you play paintball and you don't want to, somebody says, "Oh, I got hit," what you do is you take a running jump and then you roll on the ground and you let the ground wipe the paint off of your clothes and say, "Oh, no, that was an old hit," or that. Paintballers cheat all the time. In fact, probably as much or more than airsofters. And believe me, if you get hit with about 50 BBs all at once in a row, you don't want to get shot at anymore. So you raise your hand, pull out your red rag, and wave it around saying, "I got hit," because you don't want to get lit up anymore. So yeah, that's how they keep things honest from the pain. And Ryan Matthews says, yeah, airsoft is good training. It does. It gets people out there. And there's a video out there of an airsofter trying out real steel for the first time. And he did a really good job. He's a Japanese airsofter because most people can't own firearms in Japan. So he's only had shot airsoft. But he did a really good job shooting in a 3-gun. And Will Trax also said, "Is that foam darts is Nerf." So again, you could also do that, but the foam darts don't travel nearly as fast or as far as a plastic BB. All right. I may have missed. I hope I didn't. I'm just going to scroll through here. I'm just going to see if I missed any headline suggestions for this headline. If not, we'll move on. This may be just a harder call in terms of a headline. Oh, I missed one from Paul Clemens. LPV no. That's funny. Sorry I missed that one. I'm going to screenshot. That's funny. All right. And I'm scrolling up and just to see if I missed any comments nope, it doesn't look like I missed any. Here's a suggestion from Jodo the Troll. CV Life stands for Country Values for Life and comes with a near lifetime warranty if you contact them directly. That's what they say on their website. Yeah, Country Values. But it just seems it seems like a definition that came after the fact. Because when I asked them a few years ago what CV Life stands for, they never came up with that answer until recently. So I think it comes from marketing. All right, let's go to our next image. And this is for the 511 XVI tactical pants. I don't know if you, practically everybody should know 511 Tactical. They make some of the best tactical gear, pants, shoes, shirts out there. And they come from actually a mountaineering, rock climbing, outdoor background in terms of developing. I forget the name now of the source company. It has a very non-tactical name. But so they spun off 511 because they found that a lot of the people who were buying their pants for rock climbing pants, by the way, were operators in Iraq and in Afghanistan because their pants were really well built. They had a lot of give. They were well constructed with reinforced stitching. But more importantly, the pockets were designed so that even when you're like hanging belaying from a rope or somewhere, things wouldn't fall out of your pockets, which of course you don't want to happen. So they had some really nice, and they still have some really nice pants. They came up with the XVI pants after working and getting input directly from law enforcement tactical teams, SWAT teams, on what would they want in a tactical pant from a professional standpoint. So they really did up these very high quality and also primo priced pants. I think they're like at $200 a pair. So yeah, it's previous to this, they were only available to law enforcement and military, but last year, or I should say earlier this year, they released them to the general public. $200 is not the average normie's budget for a pair of pants, but these are really nice tactical pants. So one of the headlines I came up with is tactical or just tactical. But I'm looking for your suggestion. Here's one: trousers for life. And I like that. It's a play off of the durability, as well as, when it's life or death, you want the best design gear. Yeah, that's actually very good. Actually, let me just screenshot that so that I have a reference later. And Ryan commented, spend decent amount of money on a spotting sub. Hard to get a good one under 500. Oh, I guess this is another comment about the a CV Life, or was it for the Maven? Not necessarily about these pants. As concerning price, holy crap, $200. Yeah, they're not a pair. But then again, have you seen some of the prices on fashion brand pants nowadays? Yeah, in that kind of context, not as outrageous as you might think. I mean, certainly a pair of Levi's now are not cheap workman pants. So yeah. Michael DeHart said, I wore 511 cargo style pants on duty in the fire service. They lasted 6 to 8 years before retiring. So yeah. And Benchrest Marksman commented, you pay for quality. Indeed. And these are not cheaply made. And these are all made in the US, by the way. So these are, made locally, and they are made well. There's Wiltrax commented, I wear True Spec, but I've tried 511 and they are tough, man. True Spec's okay, but just in terms of, if you look at the seams, the extra stitching that they put on the seams of the 511 pants, yeah, it's just that much higher quality and time spent on them. But again, they're not $200 pants, so yeah. Here's britches for the ditches. Okay. I like that one. And I see what you're saying. Yeah. Unfortunately, no. But to your earlier comment, I forgot to mention about the CV Life. You'll see in the video, I will be giving one of these away to my viewers next month. So yeah, a little sneak preview that there will be a contest for those. All right. Hey, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to our word of the week. And that is verisimilitude. That means the appearance of being true or real. And it's similar to, maybe some of you have heard of the word, the meme word truthiness. And that's a word actually coined by Stephen Colbert on the Colbert Report. And in terms of the quality of something seeming like it's true, even if it's not necessarily true. And like I said, I'm not going to get overly political on this show. And you can, read into what you want in terms of what any particular candidate said, but we all know that by and large, politicians fake authenticity or fake being truthful. And you can insert your own example here of the particular politician. But the word verisimilitude is something I've used in the past, not necessarily for politics, but more in terms of art and the creation of images because for those of you who don't know, my background was in advertising. I worked as an advertising creative director for 30 years in New York. Madison Avenue. I was one of those guys. And one of the things that we always tried for, or at least I tried for in a lot of my campaigns, is authenticity, or at least trying to put across authenticity for a brand. And you want people, you want to portray a brand as being real to whatever benefits that it has. So one of the words that we use was verisimilitude, or at least I would often use that word in talking about the style of how I wanted the commercials to be filmed and edited with the directors and the directors of photography and the editors. I wanted to have a more feel of almost like a documentary in some of the TV commercials that I did. And one of the words that we use was verisimilitude. Well, getting back to where that relates to this show, as you saw in my thumbnail, I used an AI fake image that somebody created. I don't know who posted up, and it's been traveling around the interwebs and various memes or whatnot, of a fake Kamala Harris walking on the beach with Donald Trump. Now, if you look closely, you can see it doesn't even really look like Kamala Harris, really. That if you look closely at this woman's face, not only is not a real face, it's an AI generated image, but doesn't even really look like Kamala Harris. And if you look at Donald Trump's face in this image, doesn't even really look like him. The hair kind of reminds you of them. Yeah, but if you look closely, yeah, you can tell it's a fake, but it's just gotten really good. The fact that this is an AI, this wasn't created by a human, this was created by a computer, is the thing that's amazing to me. And that's what we're talking about in terms of verisimilitude. Now, I also have to put up that is an AI fake, because we're reaching a time in our lives. I told my kids this. I have seen in my lifetime the death of proof. Of when I was growing up, there was like, oh, we have photo evidence or video evidence. Now with AI and deepfakes, you can't. We'll no longer have the ability to show photo evidence of things or video evidence of things, because the deepfakes are just getting too good. And I don't know how that's going to play out in the real world, in terms of not just in fake information being propagated, but even just in the world of the judicial system, justice. We're going to have to go back to the eyewitness. You can't use photo evidence. I don't even know why they're bothering with speed cams. And I'm not even talking about that. You can argue the constitutional legality of that, but video evidence of things, it's just too easy to doctor, is what I'm saying, with technology the way it is. Here's another AI generated image, and you can see, I can see, and hopefully you can see, it just doesn't look quite right. Now, these are their actual faces, but they've been superimposed on somebody else. But I can tell the lighting's not right in terms of where the shadows are relative to where they are in their face. It doesn't match the shadows in the room. So I can still at least spot the fake, but in some of the images that I'm seeing nowadays, it's getting harder and harder to do that. And even from my professional trained experience of creating fake images, it's getting harder and harder. And the fact that they can do this, you can do this in real time, practically. You could probably use an app on your phone to create fake images, is just both breathtaking and frightening at the same time. Which brings us on to the rabbit hole that we've kind of gotten into. These political fake images didn't start with this election. I wanted to share with you Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was notorious for retouching photos. And here's an example. Here is Lenin just after the Bolshevik Revolution on the left. This is the original photo, or at least what we think is the original photo. And on his right, or his left, but our right of him, is a gentleman who's holding his cap there. That's Leon Trotsky. Look, if you don't know these names, look them up, folks. Leon Trotsky was one of Lenin's right-hand men, one of the top guys during the Bolshevik Revolution who supported Lenin, and he was practically his right-hand man. But in the process of how things shook out, he was a rival of Joseph Stalin. And as we know, Joseph Stalin, where history went, you may have never heard of Trotsky, but you've heard of Joseph Stalin. Well, Stalin and Trotsky were both vying for Lenin's ear to be, the person that Lenin trusted most. And who would be his successor? Well, we know from history that Stalin was his successor. And Garage Guy here points out Stalin had Trotsky killed. He did indeed. You should read this up, how he got him killed in Mexico. And how he got to Mexico, we should read all this stuff. But check this out. The reason why, again, I bring this up, there's two images on the right there. One is the retouched image. So after Stalin took power, he systematically, directed that Trotsky's image be removed from all official photos. You can see in the lower right image a blow-up, a close-up of that image, but they've erased him from the photos as if he wasn't there. That's the kind of shenanigans that has been happening in, so to speak, politics and history since, before there were computers. This was all done with hand. Brushes, literally brushes, painting onto prints and negatives to remove people. And the Soviets were notorious, famous for this. There's a book, I believe it's called The Vanishing Commissar, that is just all about Soviet-era photographs. Here's an example here. It's Joseph Stalin on the left, next to three other gentlemen who were supporters. I don't know exactly who they are, but you can see as time goes on, as Stalin starts to suspect these other folks for maybe having a little too many friends, and they fell out and they just started disappearing one by one until all you have left is Joseph Stalin. And there's another famous photo on the right there. Trying to remember, Nikolai Yuzef, I believe is his name. Let me look this up. Yezhov. He was the head of the NKVD, the secret police for the Soviet Union. So he was Stalin's right-hand man, so to speak, for a while. But then Stalin started to suspect that he had, because he would disappear other people for Stalin. But of course, to do that, you have to have people loyal to you to do these things. Stalin created a whole ecosystem of fear. And so if you have too many people who are loyal to you, Stalin didn't like that because everybody needs to be loyal to him. So eventually, Yezhov was disappeared. And there you go. There's a famous photo of him walking along I don't know which river in Russia, and he's gone. The head of the NKVD got disappeared. So yeah, that's brings me into where we are today with deepfakes, and this is the fake Keanu that you might have seen in some YouTubes, and certainly I've gotten my share of shorts and TikToks and YouTubes with this account. This artist who creates deepfakes of himself playing Keanu, or maybe it's a digital special effects company that hired an actor to play Keanu. But he does all these videos. I'll share one of these, and I won't share too many or for too long because of copyright reasons. But here, check this out. So yeah, pretty good, I would say, in terms of the level of reality of how good and realistic it looks. And pardon me, I've got to switch over to my headphones because my earbuds have died. And One of the other ones that keeps on showing up on my TikToks and YouTube shorts is this other one called Fake Ortega. It's a fake Jenna Ortega, who's, for those of you who don't know, she's on, she's one of the up and coming new actors, and she's on this this show that's a spin-off of the Addams Family, and she appears on this YouTube channel called The Same Wednesday with some other fake celebrities. They've deep-faked these celebrities, including, you'll see here. Check this out.
Everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you.
Yeah, that wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio, and that wasn't Margot Robbie. Those were deepfakes. And I gotta say, as a professional, it is very hard to tell that those were not the real celebrities, other than the settings don't seem like they would be real. And they almost look like with those photos of celebrities without their makeup. But it's gotten really frighteningly good, is what I'm trying to say here with these deepfakes. But I know I can keep on going with this rabbit hole. I just wanted to share it with you because it's just really, I got into it recently with the elections, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but with allegations of fake photos and things during the election. Maybe the YouTube algorithm or the Google algorithm saw me looking up fake images and deepfakes, and so served up more of these images. But so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But we're getting I'm getting a little bit long in the tooth, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are interested in some of the things that we are giving away. So let me just add this before we end this tonight's. And that is a drawing for last month's contest for Discovery Optics rings and mounts. This is the 20 MOA mount that I also reviewed. Really high quality mounts that are surprisingly inexpensive. Just in terms of the feature set, it's got alignment pins in the scope rings, and the scope rings are all milled as one block, so it's not like they have to worry about mixing and matching. These are all pre-lapped, really primo constructed mounts and rings. Yeah, and the folks have an opportunity to win one today. So these are folks. I will be doing a drawing of one final drawing today for everybody who's on the chat, but this is for folks who entered the contest last month. The deadline was the day after my last live stream, so that's why I didn't do the drawing. But let's do the drawing today now. Let me just bring up the screen. All right, we're going to spin for the winner for the Discovery Scope Mount contest. I want to thank Discovery Optics for supplying these to the winner. And the winner of this is going to be... Oh, that was a close one. Michael DeHart, congratulations. Sometimes it gets really close to the edge like that, and you don't know who's going to win. But yeah, so Michael DeHart, congratulations. I'm pretty sure I have your contact information, but do me a favor and send me an email at Moondog. I'm going to type it in right now. moondogairsoft@gmail.com. And by the way, the notes for today's live stream, all the links and the things that I've been discussing, I'm going to share with you right now. So if you're interested in any of the things that I was talking about, too much information, you can find them on my website at moondogindustries.com on that link. And of course, that brings us to before I get into the next contest, I just want to let everybody know that even if you didn't win the scope mounts, Discovery Optics is letting me share a discount code for everybody. So that 20 MOA mount that I just showed you, that's available now on Amazon. You can get 10% off using code Moondog1021. And the anything at Discovery Optics is 10% off if you use code Moondog. So good on you. And I just want to point out the contest for November for this month is you have a chance to win this Feyachi magnetic quick release tactical vest. And it's quick release because it's magnetic with cables, and all you have to do is pinch this and everything comes off. The buckles, they just come off. Look at that. And it attaches mechanically but magnetically, and now that's secure. It's a really interesting, very clever design that allows you to get these on and off, and it comes with all the pouches and everything. So you got a chance to win one of these. Just go to moondogindustries.com/contest, and you can enter for a chance to win. I'll be pulling the winner at the end of the month on December 1st. So that's a good chance to win that contest. And for everybody else who is still online, well, we are going to give away Condor Tactical Bag 40th anniversary to everybody who types in. Oh, don't do it yet. Hold on. I forgot to reset the contest here. So I forgot to type that in. So Condor. Let me set that up. Okay, now it's set up. Okay, sorry about that. So if you type in Condor, CONDOR, hashtag Condor, right now you can get a chance to win this bag. So I'll let everybody type that in before we end the show. And I also want to let you know that I haven't posted it up yet, but this Sunday I still have to build the pages for it, but we'll also be giving away this LPVO in a contest that will be running through Christmas. I think where I'm going to be leaving things at for this contest. So in a sense, there'll be two contests running this month, one for the vest as well as this. So the parameters are going to be probably the same in terms of you just to win the tactical vest or to enter the contest for the LPVO. Just subscribe to my travel channel, Moondog Go. Hit that subscribe button, send a screenshot in, and you can find the upload link at moondogindustries.com/contest. So I'm just going to get in the last hashtags in for this, and I'll throw in a couple of other bits of some other interesting pieces of swag from SHOT Show into this bag. That'll be a bit of a surprise to the winner. So you'll be getting this. Is actually a pretty nice saddlebag from Condor, and it's got pockets for pens as well as IDs. It's a pretty legit saddlebag, and of course this is in the desert tiger stripe. So, all right, let me call the winner for this. I'll give you guys a few more seconds while I load up this page to get your hashtag in. All right, all right, here we go. Bullets for bucks. Very good. Awesome. And actually he was one of the last folks to type in their hashtag. So there you go. It's what happens when you put your hashtag in. You could win. Well, congratulations, Stephen. I will. Stephen said, awesome. Send me some bling. I will. All right, folks. Thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you next week for my next TMI live, where I'm going to share something else I wasn't able to share just for lack of time, in terms of some items that I wanted to that might be a little bit eye-opening in terms of it's beyond deepfake. So if this topic is interesting to you, let me know in the comments in the video when it posts up, and I'll be happy to continue on with that little rabbit hole. But again, thank you everybody for showing up today, and I hope to see you next week. And if you can, tune into the Guns, Beer, and Therapy live stream on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I should be there, barring, some of life getting in the way, is what I should say. Just kids' activities and whatnot, but hopefully I'll be able to join Hillbilly on that. And hopefully I'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. God bless. You be safe. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.